Pops in the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Look at this. Pops in the Rican. The Pops in the Rican. What's the Pops in the Rican?
Look at the top of his head. Look at his head.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
All right,
Oh,
man. We are live, bro.
Oh man,
What's
look
up,
at
bro?
that! It's the Pops and the Rican
It's
show,
the Pops and the Rican show.
and I think I'm still Pops, right?
You're still Pops, and I'm the Rican.
So that makes this the Pops and the Rican show. Yeah, it's
All
good.
right, man.
I'm glad we can do that because,
It helps you.
well, this whole thing of me being stay-at-home quarantine thing, I don't. Sometimes I forget what day it is. Someday I forget who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing, and so it's good that we have the show because then I can go, oh yeah,
But what's changed, bro? Since
I think I'm Pops. I think I am. So
Right.
I don't know.
you're good, bro. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
So
good. I had a good day. It's a nice day out, man. Weather was
Yeah.
nice. I got the grill out.
oh,
happy.
well,
Yeah, I got the grill out, man.
thanks for inviting me to the grill out.
I can sign up for Grubhub, and you could just, pay me.
Oh,
No, there's no need to even sign up. Just pay me.
I could just pay you. I'll just send you some money and you can
Just
eat the
send
food.
me money, bro, and I'll
Yeah,
bring it.
that works out really well. So
I'll go buy a nice little bag, a little insulated bag, and just come running up to your door and be like, "Here you go, sir."
hey, be careful because depending on which neighbor you're hit, you say you're buying a bag, that'll get you in trouble.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna buy a bag, but yeah, I got
So,
you. Bro.
Yeah.
So here we are, bro. We got another show coming up. It's great.
I tell you, this
stuff,
show is going to be really fun
This one's
because
fun. This one we got a nice.
I got to tell you, it was I don't
Setup.
know how many years ago it was because I have stopped counting because I lost track. I had to put my shoes back on. But it's been a long time ago. When I first met, I had been doing stand up for just I don't know maybe 4 or 5 years, 4
Okay.
years, maybe 4 years, I think.
Mhm.
And I was reading the paper here in Indianapolis, and it was an article, and that was actually an article about Scott Gregory, who's not our guest tonight,
Mhm.
but it was an article, and he talked about the Christian Comedy Association,
Okay.
and I was like, whoa, wait a minute, I
What
don't know
is
anything
that,
about
right?
that. I got to find out about that, and so I found out they had a conference out in the LA area, and so I called them and said, hey, can I still come to this? And of course, Dan Ruppel was the president of the CCA back then.
Remember that?
He was-
Yep.
And so he was like, you can still come. And so I jumped on a plane. I went out there, and it was during that experience that I met our guest, Leland Klassen.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Well,
did
there
this.
it is.
We did this writing challenge thing at that conference,
Mhm.
and they put us. They gave us a scripture, and I don't remember what it was because much like church, I wasn't paying attention.
Ha!
But they put us in this group, and we had to kind of write a short sketch with it was me, Ron McGeehee,
Okay. Ron,
Leland-
yeah.
Leland Klassen,
Okay.
Nazareth,
Okay.
and I can't remember the other guy's name, Lamont or something. I can't remember but it was one other guy.
Hmm.
Anyway, that was our group, and so we got to work together, and it was really cool because I got to watch how these guys kind of process in their writing, how they come up with the craziness, and
Mhm.
and it was fun to watch because everybody has just a little bit different approach,
Okay. Right.
and so in the process, there were the two guys that I said, oh, I want to be friends with these guys forever. Was Leland Klassen and
Oh,
Ron McGeehee,
nice.
because they're kind of like, hey, let's just have some fun and let's throw everything out there, and then let's go back and see what came up that we can
That's what's
turn
up.
into, and we can edit down and we can have some fun with. It was a lot of fun, and so that's when I met our guest, and so since then, you know, I've always said, hey, we got to figure out a way to work with him,
Okay.
you know, and then we opened Gutties, and I was like, hey, let's not have
Can I
him.
have him over?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
definitely
kidding.
on the list. Right. It's all
But,
good. Man. All right, let's get him
yeah,
on. You want
so-
to get him on?
Let's bring him in. Let's have
bring
some
him
fun,
in.
man. Let's bring it in. Here he is, Leland.
What's up, Leland? How you feeling, man?
Fancy intro. Look at the intro.
Yeah.
How you feeling, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
So
It's
I
great
don't
to
know.
have you on the show, man.
I don't know, Leland. Do you remember that CCA? That I don't know if that was maybe one of your first ones too. I don't know, but you remember that years back, way back when?
I remember that one. I remember our group was like out of everybody who presented. I felt like our group was the weakest. Like we didn't hit like some other people did.
Well,
I remember. I'm very
Because we had
competitive.
minutes.
we I
We
think
had Ron McGee. We had Nat.
Man,
Why
he was
weren't we
hitting
just
Well-
Lamont Bonham?
that's
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
Lamont
Like, I
Bonham.
was like, I remember the guy, and I was like, I gotta remember his episode. Anyway, but yeah,
Cool.
I thought that we had the most fun.
Yeah.
I don't know in the presentation how much really landed, but we had a blast getting ready for the
You're
presentation.
learning something. It was
So,
good. That was good. I remember when
Yeah.
I went to CCA. Actually, I did meet you there too, Leland. But you kind of like were like, whatever, dude. You need to head out. No, I'm
Really,
kidding.
though?
No. It was like it
Come
was actually Dennis introduced me to you too as well. We were like having Chick-fil-A for lunch or something like that.
Nice.
And and it was the same year too as well when I met Michael Jr. So
Okay.
it was in that same same conference. So
I don't remember how many years it was in between the two,
right.
but it was several years in between. That's all I remember.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
cool, man. It was cool.
So yeah. Anyway, so
We kind of got you.
Is that it? I guess that's it.
That's it. We're done
Okay,
for the show.
thanks for having me.
since that time, you have been kind of crazy busy. I mean, your stand-up stuff kind of really started to take off, and you were involved with a number of different showcase things and that, and then
Dude, yeah, I've had so many things sort of take off over the years.
well,
Now you've been pretty busy. I mean, we're looking at all the stuff that you've been involved with, especially
Yeah.
with first. I was watching, or at least following the comedy competition you had to as well. You had that challenge that was on there. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, you know, the fact that you've been on this is where we're going to get into the interesting part of what you're doing, because of the fact that you're not only doing stand-up comedy, you're an actor too as well. So I wanted to talk about those transitions in between the two. And that's really cool because everybody's always, there's a few comics that I've been talking to that want to aspire to be an actor too as well. So that transition it's got to be interesting too as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that too as well.
Awesome.
But we really wanted to jump into first all about comedy. How this is probably the question that, you know, pretty much every single comic that's been in the game is going to get it. But, you know, how did you first realize, you know what, I know I'm funny and I know I got this, but when did you really come to the point where you're like, you know, I want to do stand-up comedy?
You know what? There's never been a defining moment or time. Or maybe as soon as I got on stage that first time, I was just like, put my head down and go. I'm never going to stop pursuing this. Is maybe a more accurate way. But I was already married, and for about a year or so, had all this new material. Also wanted to get out of the house, so it was perfect combination.
Right.
so your wife was like, "Hey, we need to plan the wedding." And you're like, "Hey, we need to write some material."
That's right. Yeah.
Right after the gig. Yeah, I'll come back after this gig.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just started going out and doing open mic sets in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. So the thing is, somebody asked me, because I grew up in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Canada, middle of the country, and they said, growing up, is that something that you thought you wanted to do? And I was like, well, no, like nobody in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan's like, oh, yeah, that's a solid career choice.
What's over there? I mean, what would you have to, if you didn't choose comedy, what would you end up doing?
Well, I have a BA in anthropology. So
there it is.
Nothing.
Wow.
So nothing at all.
All these years, I didn't know you were that smart.
Well, I'm not. It's just a BA. That's as far as I can go.
Well, still, that's pretty impressive that you actually went to college.
Yeah. Well, you know how I went to college. Maybe I shouldn't get into some of these stories, but I was in high school. A buddy of mine came to me and he's like, "Hey, I want to go to university next year." Because we always call it university instead of college in Canada. I don't know why,
yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
He said, I want to go to college next year. And he said, you want to be my roommate? Because he had to move to a different city. And I was like, well, I don't have any money. He's like, oh, just get a student loan. That's what I did. Will I qualify? And he's like, yeah, I'll bring the forms. So he just brought the forms to me the next day. And I just started filling stuff out.
What?
and this is
a great plan, you know.
He said, you got to pick a major because he's helped me pick my classes too. So I was like, dude, I don't know. I'm just going. He's like, it doesn't really matter. That first year, you kind of figure out what you want to do and then you go from there. So just pick something. And I'm like, I don't know what to pick. And he said, Leah Dorian is taking anthropology and she's hot. And I was like,
there it is.
That sounds like it makes sense.
More guys have chosen their major because of a hot girl than probably any actual reason. There's no plan. It's just
dude, to be honest with you, it's smart because that's how I started going to back to church. My sister was like, there's some beautiful women at the church.
There you go.
And I was like, well, then okay, well, Jesus loves me. Then I'm gonna go.
He's showing me that he loves me by all the hotties in the front row.
Exactly. That's all.
No. I actually did change it to history, and then I switched back to cultural anthropology because I just liked it so much. I never did get one class with Leah Dorian.
Wow. So you didn't get a chance, bro.
As I say to my wife all the time, she's the one that got away.
It's the old bait and switch thing, you know. You got you to go to college, and then we're not putting you in any classes with her.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Cool. So a BA in you said anthropology?
Anthropology. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So then that got you in the game. So I mean, where did you start hitting clubs? Did you just do an open mic?
Yeah. So
you just started jumping in.
Like there wasn't a dedicated 7 days a week or 5 days a week club in Saskatoon. There was it called itself a club, but it was really Friday nights. And then November, December, it would go Friday, Saturday. A little more common now, but back then it was you were either all in or not, right?
Right.
So I would do spots there every week. There was another bar that did I had another comedy thing come through, and I would do spots there. So I was doing like 2 spots a week kind of thing.
That's what's up. That's the
hustle. And
that
was my. And then anywhere else that there was any kind of open mic or any kind of stage time, I just got on.
Any clubs there that made home?
Yeah, I mean the local Yuck Yucks there was kind of where I guess that's my home club.
Nice.
Yuck Yucks is a big chain in Canada. It's
so when you were doing open mics, down here, I won't say most, but a lot of open mics, you show up and the majority of the crowd is the comics,
right?
And then every once in a while, some non-com will roll in and laugh at a few things. But for a lot of up there, was that kind of the same thing, or did you get? You get a moose to come in every once in a while. What were you guys performing?
Yeah, what's the setup? Yeah, exactly.
There definitely is the same kind of thing going on, but back then, 23 years ago in Saskatchewan, there really wasn't. It was just like we're doing comedy night. We've got a headliner coming in. We got 3 or 4 spots for the locals to do open mic. That's what it was that I came up in. But yeah, it's the same scenario in Canada where you got open mics and the same people are performing in front of the same people in the back constantly.
So it's pretty much universal comedy. It's everywhere.
Right
it's pretty much everywhere. Okay, good to know. So then what at what point did you make the jump to saying, hey, I'm not going to do anthropology as my career. I'm really going to pursue comedy. And how did that conversation go with the wife then?
Well, dude, I knew I wasn't pursuing anthropology when I was finishing my degree in anthropology, because there's no anthropology jobs per se. You gotta move. You gotta
Right,
get doctorate. You gotta move on. You gotta do some other things. But a cultural anthropologist with just a undergraduate degree is not really a thing.
How do you set up for that? Yeah, exactly.
So what I did was, as soon as I got out of, I graduated, I got married. I got a job, just a local job, and then I was doing comedy, a year or two into that. And I kind of jumped around with it. My wife did make me go back to school. I was going to get like a 2-year post-academic course so I could be a teacher to get my B.Ed. But comedy was really kind of starting to build there.
Okay.
So the first half of the season, I done Just for Laughs Comedy Festival.
Okay.
Which I did through a contest to get in to be one of Canada's homegrown. It's kind of like New Faces for Canada.
Okay.
Is the big that's where everybody signs everything. In those days too, when you go to Just for Laughs, you could come home with a development deal. Like guys were signing, and I'm not talking about Canadian development deal. I'm talking about the real deal, right? CBS, those guys were like, boom, there's your deal. Now, a lot of them knew who these comics were, but Just for Laughs in Montreal is where they went in summer to close the deal.
Right.
So that was the era that I was going to Just for Laughs, when deals were being made. And I got on, I had one, maybe 2 7-minute sets when I went to Just for Laughs in 1999.
Wow.
That was it, 2 sets. And out of that, I got a Canadian sitcom pilot.
Wow. What was the name of it? Which one?
Yeah. So I got the audition for it. Then I got the part, and then I ended up quitting school because I thought
you were like, I'm in.
I was gonna be in a Canadian sitcom, baby.
I was like, I'm in.
And that didn't work out. So I went back to school. And then I got offered a TV job on the West Coast in Vancouver, where I live now. I live just outside of Vancouver, but I moved the whole family out there and did a show for like 2 seasons out there. And that was another kind of a break in comedy, where I was going full time before then. Break in comedy when I was doing the TV thing, but I was still kind of getting on stage a little bit. And then when that was over, we just stayed here, and I haven't looked back since.
Wow. So, okay. So then you still were, did you have a drive to want to act? I mean, did you want to be like, okay, you know what, I'm doing this comedy thing, but at what point were you like, you know what, I want to act as well. I want to do some.
Like my first love is still just getting on a stage and making people laugh, right? Like that's still, I still enjoy doing that the most, even though I don't know if I even know how to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I'm worried about how I come out of this thing. I'm gonna be so rusty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you take a lot of time off, right? I mean, if you're shooting like for example, what you're shooting lately, how much time does that, depending on,
Yeah, sometimes it's a month at a time.
Yeah.
And well, for me anyway, I'm so focused on what I'm doing, and those are lead roles though too, so they're a little more heavy as far as workload goes. But I'm really focused on getting this right, so I'm not like, oh, I got the night off, I'm gonna go to. It's like, no, I gotta make sure I got this other scene down, and like I'm kind of laser focused. I'm the Tom Cruise.
You're the Canadian Tom Cruise. Look, it's the Canadian Tom Cruise. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's dope. Okay, so then that process is what I want to just jump in really quick to as well. Is the fact that we can talk about a little bit more about the fact that you wanted to, how hard is it to be able to write your comedy and then also, focus on a career in acting as well. It's like, what's that?
I mean, one thing I still have never done, because I live close to Vancouver, I could be getting an agent and going in and auditioning. Vancouver's like, I think production wise in North America, you got LA, obviously is number one. Then you got New York, And I do believe Toronto, Vancouver are right in there next. I know Atlanta's doing a bunch of stuff now, and there's some smaller ones, but there's a lot of production. Like the whole Arrowverse is in Vancouver, right?
Wow.
So
Okay.
Arrowverse, Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, DC, whatever's tomorrow. So, there's lots of series, there's lots of movies, there's just a lot of stuff happening. I could have just dove headlong into that.
Okay.
But honestly, I'm too busy with stand-up. So I've always kind of prioritized stand-up first. Now, what I started doing, I actually stopped going to, I decided to go to one conference a year.
Okay.
This is a few years back. And so I stopped going to the CCA where I met you guys, and I started going to the NRB, National Religious Broadcasters.
Okay.
And I was starting to pitch television because I'd done a little bit of television. I'd done a little bit of acting. It was always stand up first, and then a little of these things as they fit in. Okay. So I was trying to pitch stuff where I was still doing what I was doing. Comedy tournament you mentioned earlier, stuff like that. But when you're pitching it to Christian television, there's just no hope of ever getting it.
Oh, man, that's tough. That's tough.
Well, it's the model. The model for Christian television is, hey, ministries pay to be on television. So when you here's a great show idea, yeah, that's great. How are you going to pay for it?
How are you going to pay for
it?
Like, yeah, exactly.
You're not going to give me any money? Well, why would I do that when I've got people paying me to put people on? So that's just the model that exists. Okay. So, you kind of have to figure out ways to do that. But I started to shift to film, to film work. A guy, actually, he's a comedian as well. I think he considers himself more of a writer and not so much of a stand-up comic, but Tori Martin, writer and voice actor and comedian, super great guy. He did all the Odyssey stuff. He's the bunch of Odyssey guy there.
Okay.
Nice.
He's all about networking. So he was like, you got to meet I met him at this one conference, and he was like, meet this guy. From that I got in my first feature film down in the US called Alter Egos, where I played a pastor, I guess.
Pastor Pendergrass?
Pendergrass, that's right. Yeah. Which, by the way, I just recently saw a version of this movie. I didn't realize they took out all of my scenes except for one.
Wow.
I've been telling people, yeah, I'm in this movie. You can't miss me. I'm all over the place. One scene.
Just one scene. How long was the scene, though? How long was the scene?
Was that a scene?
That was the best scene in the entire show. I mean,
maybe I'm biased, but hello. I carried that movie for the 3 minutes screen time. No, but that was a lot of fun. We did it down in Lynchburg, Virginia. Producers there in conjunction with Liberty University. They got this amazing film program. Aaron Bethea is in it, and Robert Amaya. Great movie. It was fun. But about a year or so later, I got a call from the same producer. And he had written this movie based on a true story about an ultramarathon runner, and it was a drama, like it's a straight up drama. Now he said, "I want you to play the lead."
Nice.
Well, initially he said, "I want you to play the best friend, Kirk Cameron," and then I think Kirk Cameron just turned down the role. So he's like, "Well,
oh, okay."
So we got Kirk to come in as like a DJ Barry Armstrong, but I played. Yeah, he had like one day of work. He came in, boom, 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 everything shot. See ya. I was there for like 6 weeks. And then I had to go load and run. I had to do all this running because it's an ultra marathon.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
How do you prep for that? Well, obviously you got to run.
I started running. Yeah, I just started doing some running every day.
Man, dude.
So you and Forrest Gump were out there training together then?
I got a lot of Forrest Gump comparisons. I don't know if that's my running style.
Exactly. Well, tell us a little bit about your new one that you got out right now.
Actually, I'll tell you from Extraordinary how it came to Sleeper Agent, which is the one that's out right now.
All right, let me go ahead and before you jump into that, let's go ahead and play a clip. How about that?
Oh, sure.
You want to rock that? All right, let's do that.
You have been selected for an important operation, and it's a matter of U.S. national security. I'm here to bring you up to speed and get you mission ready. You're being activated.
Yes! Oh, finally! Oh, man.
I get that you feel like you're stuck in a dead-end job.
Haven't you guys ever felt like you were meant for more?
You are not a spy.
How do you know that? I'm a highly trained generational sleeper agent. My name's Gertzen. Walter Gertzen. The O is silent.
Walter, you're not a spy.
I can tell you that the waitress is 200 pounds, left-handed, and can handle herself in a fight. I just got my first mission!
Yes, you did.
He is a complete idiot. He almost cost us the mission twice.
I can see why you fell for him.
If you're in some kind of trouble, you need to go to the authorities.
You! Reach for the sky! I'm sorry.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
He's a complete idiot.
It always moves me to see that trailer.
Bro, that form, bro. At least the form was good. You had that form down packed, bro. I was like, okay, all right.
Thank you.
Good, dude.
So that was typecasting. He's a complete idiot. I don't know. Is that typecasting?
With the note.
Well, I wrote it, so
That's good,
I
man.
typecast myself. That's what happened,
Bro. So how was that? How exciting was that, man? To be able to work with everybody like that and just the setup.
Yeah, no, it was great. And I should clarify that I co-wrote it. I wrote the original script, and then Nathan Blair, the director, co-wrote it with me. But no, it was fantastic. I don't know if you saw there. Mark Christopher Lawrence was in it. He played Big Mike on Chuck.
Yeah.
And what an experience! I mean, we didn't quite have the budget of a Mission Impossible, but I think
but still, yeah.
Pretty.
Wait, did you have what kind of gun were you rocking, bro? Because you got to talk a little bit about them hands, bro. You got some mitts, and so that gun was it was drowning in them hands, bro, for real.
Yeah, it was a Lebedev PL-15. No, nice. I don't know. That's the only thing. That was some research in the movie, a Russian pistol. That's the only reason I know that. They were prop guns, okay? So I just said, give me the biggest prop gun you have.
Bro, it was like, is he holding a gun at all? What's going on?
The director's out there going, call the prop department. We need a bigger gun.
Yeah. No, what happened? What happened? The reason this thing got made, as Extraordinary was finishing, Scotty Curley, the director and producer, writer of Extraordinary, said to me, "Hey, when this thing hits, I think it's gonna be big, big movie, and people are gonna ask you, what do you got? What's next?"
Right.
And it wasn't that big, but
so just keep rocking, bro. Just keep rolling.
But I did take that to heart and decided, okay, I'm gonna start writing some stuff. I'm gonna start getting stuff of my own ready. That to me is fun. Like, I'm having so much more trouble motivating myself to write in lockdown than when I'm on the road, because I'll just give myself, I got 3 hours on the plane. Okay, let me just hammer out another scene. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. That way you can kill it. But it's kind of like the same way. Do you do the same thing with your writing for comedy? Like when you do your stand-up, or do you even take that process anymore now that you're at a place where you can you can pretty much wing it.
I mean, I've always worked stuff on stage, right? And I still do, but no, I still got a notepad and stuff, and then I'll dive in. And the hardest thing about where I'm at now is that, I constantly want to be adding new things and be writing, but sometimes I'm on a tour where I'm only doing 20 minutes, and it's like, now I'm back to open mic kind of time for my.
Right.
my new material. and it's a big event, and so you can't be. I'm gonna try a bunch of stuff. It's like no, that's not cool.
Right.
What's working? Make sure it's working. So I have to be a little more strategic where I put it. But when I'm doing my own tours, an hour long or more, oh man, I'm writing stuff like nobody's business. Just keep hammering away at stuff, right?
Right, exactly. Okay, cool. So then it's pretty much trying to find. I mean, just because thinking about how busy you had to have been, how can you and where can you find time to be able to have the discipline to write that? Because it's really discipline. Even those who are not involved in so much still find it difficult to find the time to be able to write.
I'm finding it a lot harder during lockdown here. I really am.
Yeah.
I find that when I have a routine and I have a lot of busy stuff going, then I just find ways to put that in, and then it becomes routine that way, right?
Right, exactly. It feels weird like that. Like lately, it's like I've noticed for myself is that I was thinking when we got locked down, I was like, man, I'm gonna have time to be able to do this, and I could do this and this, and I just noticed that it's different. I feel it's so different because it's so much time. It's almost overwhelming. Like I got so much time.
Right.
But at the same time, I got my family, I got my kids and stuff, and I'm taking, I'm with them and stuff and hanging out. But then it's like, man, why can't I find now that I have time? Was it all mental, or was it really just something that I need to work on more of discipline? Now I'm seeing myself as disciplined.
I mean, I do write a lot on stage, but I think, for any comedian, for me, I guess, it's like anything. It's like any muscle. If you don't use it very much, it shrivels up on you, right? So
what's this muscle you talk about? I'm not sure what that is.
Dennis ain't using nothing.
so you get, as far as observing stuff or doing those kinds of things, if you make a point of doing it, that gets stronger and gets so you're better at, and you're quicker. Just like on stage, I had a lot of stage time compared to guys doing 5 minutes at a time.
Right.
I got hours of time. So people are always like, wow, man, you're so quick on stage. And it's like, no, I just spent a lot of time doing it.
Okay.
So because I'm doing it a lot, and it feels quick to you, but it's just like, no, I've just been building this up for a long time. So it's just a reflex. It's just
right. Okay. So there's no way around it. There's never a way around. You got to do the time. You got to put in time. You got to put as much as you can.
I mean, I know there's some gifted people out there that it's a shorter amount of time, but I still think there's the times there, right?
Right. Exactly.
So then you've got Sleeper Agent, and that's because of the world got sent to timeout.
Yeah.
You're not doing all of the grand opening or premiere shows and that kind of stuff right now that you probably would be doing.
Well, that's the beauty of my movie. I think we should, this is my pitch. Let's put it in every theater. Not a lot of people are going to show up anyway.
Right.
Well, you can at least say, yeah, we were in every theater worldwide for the whole month of March.
That's right.
Now,
March 15th to April 15th, we were in 4,000 theaters across the U.S.
So as you're dropping the movie, though, how are you? What's the plan? Were you planning on doing that and then being in town to do some comedy at some place and have the premiere of your show there, or what was the plan?
What we did was a couple of special kind of premieres before we were going to do our launch, right? And we did, like the last one, the Canadian one was March 8th, and it was the following week that everything just closed.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff in place yet anyway.
Okay. So what you're saying is it's your fault?
It's likely my fault.
Yeah.
I was
nothing was happening. Nobody was shutting down until Leland said, hey, let's do the big launch.
And then,
and then the world just said, nope, we're going in timeout.
Oh man. Yeah. So can you guys do what they've done now where you can actually rent the movies that are in theaters?
So the
Things
funny
like
thing is
that.
people all think like, oh, it must be way easy now because everybody wants online content.
Sure.
And the problem is everybody's dumping their content online now.
Mm.
So now you know,
So that's the battle. Yeah, it's
what
true.
were the Bloodthirsty or whatever whatever that one was that came out? I Still Believe. I can't remember any of the movies.
Mm.
Was it Trolls?
Trolls,
No, Frozen 3, I don't
Star
know.
Wars, Trolls. Yeah, exactly.
Frozen, Trolls,
Trolls,
whatever it was. They all went to. I think somebody's ringing my doorbell.
Yeah.
It's not me.
They're delivering. Yeah, they're like, no, it's
Too bad. Yeah,
it's the movie.
So if you're having some difficulty then getting the launch, does that mean that we could probably we could show the movie at Gutty's Comedy Club when we reopen, and then we could have you there to do some comedy?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Or let's do it right now. I'll send you a link.
Hey, we'll just throw it on.
we'll just put it up there.
Let's just watch it.
It's an exclusive. Pops and Rican show.
It's a Gutty's TV exclusive.
Yeah, baby.
Well, so where we are at officially, we got the official no from Netflix last week. So that now we can kind of move forward. We were kind of waiting on it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it won't be on Netflix.
Okay. So what are the requirements to have that on there? What are they looking for?
Well, I mean, they curate it. They decide what they want and what they don't want. They make offers, and Buddy didn't want it. You know,
like, nope.
It's a fun movie. I think it's funny.
I think so. Yeah.
How it turned out.
So do you think that in the middle of all of this, that Netflix and some of those places are lowballing shows just because they can? Or
I mean, I don't know, but it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, is it because it's not racy? You know, because there's a lot of stuff on there that is pretty much crossing the line.
Our pitch was the guy that was I probably shouldn't say all this. I don't know if I should or shouldn't be. But the guy that was pitching, he pitches a lot of faith and spirituality movies to them.
Yeah.
And his pitch about this movie was, hey, it fits there with that audience, but it's crossover like crazy because it's just a fun family comedy.
Okay. See, now we can transition into what we do here, because the product that we push here at Gutty's is just that. It's a place where we want to provide clean comedy, but yet for everybody, not just specifically, religious or, just one-time events. We want to create a club that brings in great quality comedy that's not offensive. So it's interesting that even in that field, you have to battle with that. You have to bring that quality. You have to, even though it's not, offensive or blue, it's like you still have to battle in that. And that's always going to be like the uphill battle. Oh, it's not funny enough, or it's not funny if it's not, offensive. So it's like, that's the same battle that we tend to face too as well. So I find it interesting that even across the board, it's that's what's happening.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we're still, we're talking to some Canadian channels. We're talking to some U.S. stuff that's still out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure people end up seeing it on Tubi or Amazon or some of those kind of things. We'll see what deals we make.
Okay, good.
It's a lower budget movie, so that was how by design. Let's see if we can make something for less, and it's easier to recoup money, so we can do more.
Yeah.
So is like Amazon Prime, is that something you guys are shooting to see if they'll pick it up?
I mean, I'm not personally involved in those discussions, but I know that those discussions are happening.
Yeah.
So
because that's one of those things that I've not really delved into to try and find out the whole process as to how you actually pitch to them. And how much different it is to pitch to Amazon Prime than it is to Netflix or Hulu or, because the business model is changing. It's evolving every day. And especially now that so many people have been pushed to watching stuff at home, it's the business model has changed so much for comedy let alone for movies,
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking to a distributor the other day, and he said, if anyone tells you they know where it's going and what's happening, they're lying, because everybody's guessing right now, and everybody's trying to jump on and figure out what's the best way to move forward. So,
right. I feel like I feel the same way, that let's just wait. We just need to wait to see what happens, because everyone's jumping on, well, it's never going to be the same again. And I feel that that's a little too extreme.
Yeah.
And, yes,
hopefully it's extreme, because all of us, that's what we're doing, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's just, I don't feel that way. Others may feel that way. It's fine. Everybody has their opinion. I just don't feel that it's going to be that extreme. It's definitely something that has changed the game, because it made us all innovative. We wanted to do something different. As soon as our doors shut down, I was like, Dennis, we need to get online now, because of the fact we need to just be innovative in that way. And so getting online, doing all this caused us to get more creative. And now we have this platform here, which we are loving, because now we can do our interviews for Pops and Rican. We fell into this, and it's like, oh man, this is great. So it's really preparing yourself as a business owner to not really just freak out and just throw everything out and be like,
I'm
done.
still freaking out, just for the record. I'm still freaking out.
It's just a different style of freaking out,
It's just a different style. You don't see it now because I'm live, but yeah.
Like I was weeping for a full hour before I got on here, and I'm gonna weep for an hour after.
Yeah, but that's again, you're weeping because you just spent. I spent a whole hour talking to Thule and his friend Steve. I mean, that's got to be
the lowest.
That wasn't a blessing. That was punishment.
There's only 3 people watching.
Yeah, well,
we're building. Well, the same way. Only 3 people are going to watch your movie too,
up
right?
3 people from the first show, so that's good. No, so let me go ahead and kind of switch gears here a little bit, because you are still doing stand-up. In fact, you just recently did your Dry Bar special. When did that release?
I was in the first season. So
nice. Okay.
It was is it 2 years ago now? Something like that?
So you've been out there for a day or two then?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm one of the pioneers, baby.
Yeah. So how did that process go, and how much different was that process than some of the rotation and production process that you do with movies or with any other comedy specials you've been part of?
Wow. That's a loaded question. The model these guys had was, well, it's funny because I've done Bananas, I've done Thou Shalt Laugh, I've done, all those kinds of all those ones I've heard of. And everyone always talks about, even some Canadian ones, and everyone talks about, we'll give you this much to do it, but look at the back end, you're going to get this in your residuals, and then you don't never see a dime. Because you're like, your plan isn't going to work, and we're never going to get this money back.
Wow.
But with these guys, they said the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, sounds good. But because they've leveraged and blown up on Facebook and YouTube and done all those things, as you see these quarterly reports, you're like, oh wow, those Facebook earnings and YouTube earnings and subscription earnings and tip earnings and audio earnings, that all adds up. And so you can see a future. Now, I'm not like, some of these guys, it's like 80 million views. Whereas I'm sitting around on some of my Facebook ones, like 3.5 million, 2.7 million, 2.5 million. Like and then YouTube, I don't think anything's even hit 1 million, maybe 500,000 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you need to get Andy Beningo to. I'm just kidding.
And I worked with Andy this year. He's a great guy.
So then I noticed that, and I don't know if this is post production that they're doing what they're doing, but I noticed that there's, they've got the short clips that they get out there and promote, and then it's, hey, you can watch the full thing on the app or whatever. Are they having you do anything now on the back end of promotion on this?
I do believe that they're doing some live, because every once in a while I'll see Keith Stubbs has gone live with somebody, with one of the comics. They've never asked me to do it yet. I guess I'm not one of the 30 million views guy.
I was gonna say, I know we just had Dennis
Gacciola
on, and I know he had. I know they did a live thing with him because I was notified on my phone that he was going live, and but I didn't know if that was something. Are they hitting up all of the comics and saying, hey, we want to do this to kind of help?
There's so many have done it now. I don't know if they can hit up everybody, or maybe if this lockdown lasts long enough, they will.
Right.
But they're very good. I mean, and here's the thing you got to realize about them too. They switched gears a little bit. Like, they've tried some stuff. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work. This hit really hard. Okay, we're gonna go doing more of this. Like, they were putting little clips out on YouTube, and then you could just buy the show from VidAngel for $2, and it just wasn't. Nobody's was really selling very well, I don't think. So they do the app, and it's free on the app. They upload the whole thing on YouTube, because you get 20 million views for something that's 40 minutes long. And so how many more commercials is that? So that's not the dollar per thousand that people get on their 5-minute videos. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
They've figured out they're looking at algorithms. They're smart, smart. Like, so much better businessman than I'll ever be.
Man, that's so cool, man. I wish we need to connect, at least, talk, and just because we have that same heart, and to be able to bring, quality comedy to the scene. So that's really cool to hear that, because it's so true. You got to be able to marry both the understanding of how the business works with your brand. And when they launched it, it was just awesome to see just different clips. They would do 1 or 2 minute clips on Facebook, and then you get pointed to download the app and all that stuff. So you really have to know the process of the business side of it and being able to promote the brand. And they're just doing an awesome job.
I just know, I mean, they're always innovating, doing something cool. I just noticed that they got a whole bunch of channels, and they're broken up into different kinds of clips. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize this. I thought I was
didn't they put like filters? Yeah, they put like different filters on it.
I mean,
like,
they
increase that
separate channels now on all these things.
Yeah.
Maybe those are playlists. I don't even understand everything, but they've utilized Facebook a lot too. I mean, that's where I blew up. Well, I don't know if I blew up. Yeah. It's funny, hey, because in the old days you get 1 million or 2 million views of something, and it's like, I went viral. And I got like 10 million views of stuff that's been on Facebook with them, and it's like, nah, you're not viral yet.
Not yet, man. 10
there might be somebody coming to your show next week that says, hey, I've seen you on Dry Bar, but you're not viral.
Nice.
You got to keep trying,
You just got to keep pushing, bro. Yeah. Just keep pushing.
So then what's next for Dr. Klassen then?
What's next? I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to last. I mean, what I'm doing is trying to finish some scripts, pitch some stuff. What else am I doing? I'm just trying to be creative. Here's the thing I realized. I started digging more into podcasts and YouTube, just like every comic did. Like, oh, what is this all about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I've had a YouTube channel. I got like 850 some subscribers. I've never put any content. like the last time I put something up, it's usually for my own uses. Like, I want somebody to see something, so I'll put something up. Oh yeah, go to my thing. And I just realized I owe 856 people an apology for subscribing. So I'm going to start doing content. I'm going to start doing stuff.
Well, you should tell all those 800 and some people that they should also subscribe to Gutty's TV.
I'm just saying, just jump on over here too.
I got you. You send your 3 or 4 over, and I'll
exactly.
I will say it's. Steve was saying how when we talked about what are we going to do now, we had been talking about the possibility of doing some video things and that, and we just hadn't gotten around to it. We've been so focused on building the crowd at the club,
By the way, I think it's awesome what you guys. I've been watching from afar before the shutdown and everything, watching you guys build this thing, and I just think it's so cool. And I commend you and thank you for doing that, because that's a lot of comics don't even realize how hard it is to do what you're doing, to build a club, to promote. I mean, it's not easy.
And it truly is a labor of love. I mean, it's taken a lot for us. I know Steve is, you see all the promotion stuff and the posters and the videos, and that's Steve. It's we kind of balance each other because he's like, yeah, I'll promote it if you make sure that you're connecting with the comics and you're bringing in the talent.
Sure.
And so
that's the true hustle there too, as well. It's just like we're saying, I'm able to get everything, get the brand going, and be able to put everything out there and get the face of Gutties and what we're all about. But if it wasn't for Dennis to stepping in and getting everybody. Oh yeah, that's right. You still need to get it. We still need to have me at Gutties. But it's just basically he's been just a superstar and being able to bring all the great comics here, and
all the great ones, only the best,
only the best.
None of these Canadian scrubs.
I had to make sure that your passport was up to date because
Hey, I'm legal. I got my work permit. I am legal.
That's all good.
But
now the borders are closed, but
yeah. when this whole thing hit, that's when we said, okay, we've been talking about doing some video stuff. Now we have to.
Yeah.
And so literally, I think it was just like this last weekend, we actually got to 100 subscribers, and we're like, yay!
And we're like, yeah, we got 100, bro. Let's go.
And I know, we've got to keep working and building subscriptions and getting our subscribers and that. But it's in the process, we're seeing, okay, there are so many things that we have to try to have that presence, because even in the shutdown, people are looking for entertainment. They're looking for something, and we want to be that family-friendly, clean entertainment option for people to still connect with.
Yeah.
And so, we're still trying to do all of that. And so we definitely, we will get it worked out to get you to come down. And I really, I know I kind of said it as a kind of as a segue almost of how do we make this happen? But I would love to be able to show a couple of your feature films. Have some special nights, where we can show the some Leland Klassen stuff before you come down, and then have some time where you come in, do your stand up, and maybe do some meet and greet type stuff with you, because you're the most famous Canadian I know.
I'm just saying.
Me and Bieber.
Well, I don't know him. I don't know him, and I don't want to know him.
There you go.
Actually, it was interesting. We just earlier in the week we had Ian Kadaski on, and I don't know if you're familiar with Ian. He's a comic out of the LA area, and he's originally from up there in the frozen tundra of Canada as well.
Oh, what's his name?
Ian Kadaski.
Oh, okay.
And so this week is on Gutties TV. It's Canada Week.
Oh wow!
I don't think we intentionally did that. It was just like I realized late. Oh look, it's
you're now an international show.
Oh yeah, we're bringing them in from all over the world, and so, but one of the things that I like to ask comics when we have them on the show is, what's the best piece of advice that you got, whether it was about your stand-up or going into the movie world or whatever? What do you think is the best piece of advice that you have been given about where you are in your career?
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess one of probably the most practical advice I've been given is just get on stage. Stage time.
Yep.
But I guess the one that I think is most important when it comes to comedy, for me at least, is you gotta be who you are. You gotta be unique. You gotta be whatever it is that you bring to the table. It's different than everybody else. That's really what you got to show an audience. I've turned into more of a storytelling comic, and still laughs per minute are still up there. I like to make sure that it's still, but I don't think I intended to be. But as I just kind of became more myself, it was kind of like, nah, that's what I do. This is what I. Or it's just I'm lazy, and then telling stories is an easier way to film material.
Well, one of the things we were talking.
Lazy. Okay, I got you. Go ahead.
One of the things we were talking about with Ian that I think fits here was the importance of likability and connecting with your audience.
Yeah.
That and you have that likability factor that it seems every time I've seen you on stage, either live or when I watch any of your videos, you have an innate ability to connect with an audience. That it just seems that the audience is kind of cheering you on. It's like, yeah, we want you to be funny. We want you to succeed. And it's
right.
And
we want this to get better.
Please make it funny. Please make us
when
laugh,
is the funniest joke coming? Yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean, you have that likability factor that helps so that as you transition from, your rapid fire or whatever you might have been thinking about going to more of a storytelling, the audience is going to want to go along on that journey with you just because they're enamored with the tall Canadian,
I mean, I thank you. Thanks very much for that. But I try. I mean, that's one thing that I guess that also kind of encompasses what I was saying too about being myself, is that's, whatever the stage is, whether it's a theater or a small, I was doing a show one time and there's like 3 or 4 people in the audience. And I was like, the sad thing is I'm actually getting really good at small crowds. That's maybe a bad sign that this is where I flourish, is with these, and then we just talk. Like I have a microphone, but other than that, we're just having a conversation. And that's one of the biggest compliments, is when I see, when people say that, whatever, when they're like giving me feedback or whatever, when they're like, it was like we were just sitting in the living room and you were just making me laugh, but we were hanging out. It was so fun.
Right.
That's a big compliment for me.
And
I'm sure there's people that hate me, just like in real life.
I mean, right, exactly. But still, I mean, you're always going to have them anyway. So whatever. It is what it is.
So what's the best way for people to reach out if they want to learn more about Leland Klassen? They want to see more of Leland. How do they find you? What's the best way for them to get to you?
LelandKlassen.com. Yeah, that's like the screen says. I'm not sure if there's a period in between my name or not. Some there is, some there isn't. I don't know which is which.
Okay.
Just dig around, you'll find me.
Well,
you definitely have the connections on your website too as well. So if you want to follow
there you
go. All that, you just hit the links. You're good.
See, I'm not good at this stuff.
You like do a link, you do a search. You're like, what's it? No. Just go to the website, click on the the icon. You're good to go.
I'm the worst marketer. What's the best way to reach you? I don't know. If you like Google search, funny guy.
Go ask the guy down the street. Ask his mom. No, bro.
Local post office. I got pictures up there.
If you really want to find me, you'll find me.
You'll find me, right? Exactly. It's all good.
Ask a student loan officer; they'll find me.
Awesome, man.
Well, hey, Leland, thanks for taking some time on your very, very busy lockdown schedule to come and hang out with us here on the Pops and the Rican show. I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me. And you guys gave me an excuse today to turn down some of the to-do list I had to do. I was like, I got to prepare. I got a big online deal I got to do.
5 viewers.
Got to get ready.
Appreciate every single one of them.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're expecting my best.
We appreciate.
That's my niche. I found my niche. The small crowd. I'm gonna do it.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I promise I'm gonna start putting content on it.
All right.
Promise. Appreciate you, man.
We'll see if we can help get you over 1,000.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Then you can just
I won't even start building this until I get 1,000 subscribers.
Then you can disappoint more people all at the same time.
That's right.
Nice.
All right, man. Thanks a bunch, Leland.
Hey,
take it easy, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was good stuff. Here we are, man. We did it. Awesome. That was great.
Well,
that was a great show.
And it was interesting to kind of hear his journey through from stand up to movies and his love for stand up being preeminent there, and so
right. It's just to see the difference. It's really cool that to just at least get an idea of what it's like to be able to not only be awesome at stand up, but to rock out acting too as well. So I like that we are able to at least pick a little bit of his brain and onto what it is, what's it like to do that. So hopefully that was encouraging to somebody out there that's going to be watching it. They'll be able to be encouraged too as well. So,
and I promise that as soon as the lockdown is done, we'll get Leland scheduled, and it may not be for 3 or 4 years, but we will get him scheduled after the lockdown. I promise.
We promise to. All right, so let everybody know too as well. Hey, you guys can follow us on. First of all, obviously, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gutty's TV. You can follow us on Facebook too as well, Gutty'sComedyClub.com. Pops and Rican will be continually bringing the funnies, also bringing the interviews to everybody too as well. You can download our mobile app too as well. It's Google Play and App Store. You can actually donate, and we want to give a huge shout out to our those who have donated to Gutty's Comedy Club to help us.
Major big thank you.
Huge thank you.
Yeah.
To all of you that given. We just thank you so much. We thank you for being able to embrace the vision and to support us, because we know that as much as we love Gutty's, you love Gutty's as well. And so we're thankful for that. So you can go to Gutty'sComedyClub.com/gift if you want to give or donate. You can also donate through the mobile app as well. So if you download the mobile app, you can see that it says COVID-19 Relief Fund. You can click on that and give any amount. Doesn't matter if it's $1 or $100. It doesn't matter. We just appreciate every single cent you guys have been given to us. So we thank you for that.
Yeah, that has been huge. I mean, we keep hearing the talk about, well, we're going to try and see when we're going to be able to reopen, and we're going to do it in different phases. And I can tell you that even if the 1st of May, they say, okay, we're letting off the brakes and we're going to let people get back to work. Yeah. They're still not letting us open the club because they don't want large gatherings of people.
Right.
And even though our club is a small, intimate club, we have 80 seats.
Yeah,
it's still more than what they want for us to pile into one location.
Yeah.
And so we don't know how much longer it's going to be. And so we had really hoped by now we'd have a date, we'd know what was going to happen. We still don't know, and so we still are relying very heavily on the generosity of those of you who can spare $1, $2, $100, $1 million, whatever it is, because let's be honest, we don't know how soon it's going to be before we can actually have our first show.
Yeah.
And until we start having shows, we don't have the income rolling through unless you go to our merch page and you buy some merch.
If you go to the merch page, that's
as
well. That's another way to be able to not only support, but you could also, rock the swag too as well. You can go on through our mobile app too as well. You can download the mobile app. You can go to the store that's there. You can support that way. You can also get a gift card. If you want to come to Gutty's later on once we open up, you can also get a gift card and then bring that gift card in and enjoy some laughs. So you definitely have different ways to want to be able to support. So we appreciate every single one of you that have done it.
And it doesn't matter how you made that connection, whether it's through the gifts or through merch or gift cards, whatever.
Yeah,
we appreciate the fact that you are believing in the importance of good, family-friendly, clean entertainment, and we're going to do our best to continue to provide it right here at Gutty's Comedy Club.
That's right. So thank you guys so much for following us, and let's keep it rolling. I appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Everybody have a great week.
Have a good night, guys.
Deuces.
Hold up. Who are you?
Oh, I forgot. Hi, I'm Leland.
Every single episode, baby.
No, am I? No, I'm not Leland Klassen. That's who we had on the show.
Right.
Oh yeah. It says on the screen, "I'm Pops,"
and I'm the Rican,
and this has been
the
Pops and the Rican show. All right. Now I can go deuces.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican.
Pops and the Rican. The Pops and the Rican. What's the Pops and the Rican?
Look at the top of his head.
Pops and the Rican.